Chapter 7, Lamont. Lamont stood at the foot of the hospital bed, silent, hands stuffed into the pockets of his jacket. He hadn't spoken much since arriving. Words felt inadequate, hollow. The machines hummed, beeped, hissed. The ventilator moved air into Licole's lungs with precise, unfeeling rhythm. And yet to Lamont, every mechanical sound carried weight. Every beep was a heartbeat. Every hiss a fragile exhalation of life that refused to give in. He leaned closer, voice low, almost reverent. "Licole, it's me. I'm right here. You hear me, right?" His words felt small in the sterile, fluorescent-lit room, but they were all he had. He had no control over the chemicals that paralyzed her. No way to stop the machines dictating her every breath. All he could offer was presence, the thread of familiarity, the echo of love she might still perceive. He remembered the last time he had seen her fully awake, fully herself. The way she laughed at the smallest things, the tilt of her head when she was curious, the stubborn spark in her eyes that refused compromise. And now, she was trapped beneath layers of medicine and poison, her body a battlefield, her consciousness tethered by fragility and hope. "I talked to Nana today," he whispered, voice breaking. "She keeps asking for you, wants you here, wants her mommy. You hear that? They need you, baby. We all need you. Bri can't sleep without your shirt. I had to keep it close just so he feels something." His hands hovered near hers, careful not to disturb the IVs or monitors. He brushed a strand of hair from her face, tucking it behind her ear, almost expecting her to flinch, to respond, but she didn't. Her body was still, almost stone-like, but Lamont refused to see it as defeat. He refused to see the paralysis and sedation as finality. Every twitch, every micro-movement, every tiny change in her eyelids or fingers, he noticed. He cataloged them silently, storing each observation as evidence of life, proof that she was still reaching for him, still tethered. "Do you hear me, Licole?" he repeated, voice steadying despite the weight in his chest. "You've got to come back, baby. You've got to fight. You can hear me, right? You can. I know you can. You always could." He sank into the chair beside her bed, leaning forward, elbows resting on his knees, fingers intertwined. His eyes never left her face. Every mechanical breath, every beep from the monitors, every drip from the IVs reminded him of how close they were to the edge. He had no magic, no control over the poison that had infiltrated her body, no control over the chemicals that held her muscles hostage, no control over the swelling in her brain, but he could be here. He could be her voice, her anchor, her tether to the world beyond the machines. "I've been a mess," he admitted aloud, almost to himself. I didn't know how bad it was. I thought she'd just get through it. I didn't see it. I didn't know. And now, his throat tightened. He swallowed, forcing words back down. "Now I see. Now I know. And it's too much. It's too much." The machines continued their steady rhythm. Beep, pause, beep. Every sound was magnified in the silence he carried with him, a heartbeat in the midst of chaos. He leaned even closer, whispering words of encouragement, recounting memories, telling Licole about the small moments he knew would anchor her to life. "Remember that day at the park? You laughed so hard. Bri laughed with you. Nana cried when she couldn't climb the slide. They're still waiting for you, baby. Still waiting for you to come back." His voice grew soft, intimate, almost a chant, repeating the same lines over and over. "Fight, stay, come back to us. You're not alone. I love you." Each repetition was deliberate, a thread tossed into the fog of sedation, a lifeline he refused to let go. Even if she couldn't respond, even if her eyes didn't flicker, he believed she could hear him. He needed her to hear him. Minutes blurred into hours. Lamont remained motionless, body tense, alert, a sentinel against the machines and the poison that had invaded her body. He watched every twitch of her fingers, every blink of her eyelids, every microspasm, cataloging them as proof of resistance, proof of life. Every monitor, every beep, every ventilator hiss was no longer cold machinery. They were instruments of survival, markers of hope he could interpret if he listened closely enough. He spoke her name over and over. layering it with fragments of life outside the hospital. He recounted birthdays, whispered secrets, reminded her of voices she loved, people she missed. Each word was a thread in a tapestry of connection, a tether keeping her mind anchored to reality while her body betrayed her. "I'm not leaving, Licole," he said finally, voice barely audible over the hum of machines. "I'm right here, every second, every breath, every beep. I'm here. Don't leave me. You're not done. Not yet. Fight." And even in the stillness, even beneath sedation and paralysis, even through the haze of poison in her bloodstream, there was a flicker, a micro movement, a pulse, a small acknowledgement that she was still listening, still tethered, still fighting. Lamont's hands fell to her fingers again, squeezing gently. Beep, beep. The rhythm that had haunted her before now became a lifeline between them, a measure of survival, a bridge of love and presence. And he refused to let go, refused to accept finality, refused to let her body's paralysis define the battle. Because even when the body could not respond, even when the world had been reduced to machines and monitors, Lamont knew the truth. Licole was still here. She was still fighting. And he would remain, unwavering, her voice, her anchor, her tether to the world beyond the hospital.